Let's do something fun, shall we? let's play some SimCity. SimCity 4, no less. Let's make sure our audio mix is right. We'll see how loud that gets. All right. Do we have connections to the neighbor cities? We don't. Let's exit to the region. Let's get those neighbor connections in, right? This is one I started called Castletown. But I want to connect this one. So let's do that. We'll connect these across. Thanks, I appreciate the adulation there, friend. I am a mayor of governing gifts. Alright. We'll save and exit the region. Alright, we got some road connections here, that's good. We're gonna call this we're gonna call this Befuddlia. Because I'm befuddled as to why my other game is just not being cooperative. We may switch back halfway through, see if I can't get it to fix up. Alright. We'll rotate this puppy around. Woo, sorry for the zooms. I'm used to the camera movements from Cities. I've been playing it so much. Let's build our big road here across. All the way across. Let me update my my stream information real quick. Oh goodness. Do I have an easy way to do that? Is this it? It is it. Ha ha ha. uh, Alright, that should update the stream information. Alright. First person to comment something gets to have a building in their own possession. They can just say that this one was your house. I can't actually change the name, I don't think, but I can do a school though. I'm gonna do a school. Why are you doing that to me? No, you quit that. Fine. You do that. Alright, we need to have some power lines real quick. Put this over here. We can do a little power line, transmission line over here. What at? So I did a 5 wide block there, but I did this one bigger. This one, no? That's a 5 wide. Then 5 wides it shall be. There's not much detailing you can do with cities, or SimCity. However, I have found some ways, and I was very proud of myself when I found those ways before. Alright. Let's see, we've got the white bungalows with some good occupancy. We're going to want an agricultural zone. I like to have my agricultural zones. It's a way to have industry without being dirty. Put a rail line down here at the bottom. Too close. I think I want to do the commercial interest all along here. I have no problem with doing this. Oh, that's ugly. Don't do that to me. Dezonification process has begun. This will connect everybody up. Right? Right? I don't know. I just figured, you know, since SimCity works and Cities is being not fun to me tonight, I better just have some fun. Because that's what streaming is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be fun. So, there we go. We've got some good flea markets. I forget how low industry and commercial is. Alright. We can do some medium density here, because we're in the downtown area, right? So we'll do 3 there, and then we'll do a matching 3. There we go. Alright, let's jump over here. We've got this coming in well. I'm gonna do rail. Let's do rail. Because we don't have to unlock the rail, we just have the rail. Put it here. I'm gonna upgrade the road. Now, let's put this rail line. We will connect to Sim Nation. What in Sim Nation? That'll give us some interesting interconnectivity. Oh no, we're out of power, it says. We're doing okay on budget. I was expecting much worse, to be honest. Yes, I know. If you'll quit screaming at me, Mr. Dude Man, I'll go ahead and get this put in. Thanks. There you go. We'll put this out on the edge of town and poison Castletown. Monthly income, monthly expenses. Look at that. It jumped right up. That's okay. I might need more power, though, because that might take a little bit to stand itself up. There you go. 2 windmills. Count them. Two windmills. Sorry. Okay. How are we doing on our... Yeah. Complain to me later if it still matters. Alright, who wants to have the school named after it? Because I'm going to put in an elementary school now. Speak up in chat or forever hold your Reese's Pieces. Anyone? Anyone? Come on. It'll be fun. I'm going to call this one for my friend Stars, though, because I bet you she's been here and she's just sitting quietly. So we'll call this one the Stars Dream Clinic. There you go. Stars Dream Clinic. Oh boy. I'm pretty convinced that it was me installing the tree mod, honestly, and not like deeply testing it before things got going. I don't know, maybe it's still downloading. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to like get Skype. That's the one that downloads everything, right? In SimCity, I like me my grid. Well, you know, that is a valid point, Mr. Dude Person Man. Let's get some water for people. We're going to bring in the city pump. We're going to put it on the side away from the farms, because, you know, that's where the pollution tends to come in. There you go. And where do the pipes go? Under the roads, where they belong. Just ask Phil. And do I care about the topography in this game? No, not really, because it doesn't really play that much of a role. Buildings just flatten things out all they want. Alright, let's do this. We've got space here. We could put in a park. This is the detailing that I do in this game. Because you can do a little bit of stuff. Right? Because you can put in little parks and you can mix and match and combine parks. Medium park green would fit well there, and so there you get a nice mix and match of a park. Right? Let's do some... There you go. So you're gonna be like this, are ya? I'll let us have some of that. Feel a bit zoomed out here. There you go. Is that one? Ooh, is that pink? Ooh, that is pink. There you go. Star's house. Hooray, Star's house. Alright, let's see here. Good, thank you. That's nice of you to do it cooperatively that way. Okay. Oh, there's nothing on that side of Star's little hospital there, the Star's Dream Hospital. We can fix that. I could even put in a tennis court for the doctors to play on, you know, while things are, you know, a little crazy or whatever. Hey. Look at these all built in. It's just beautiful. Why, I would love to pull up a chair and join the fun. Let's see, I would want to have the mayor's house. Sure, we'll have it on the main drag. Oh look, everyone's here and they're going to start complaining. Because that's what this game does. We're going to put some flower gardens by my house. We're going to put some open grassy areas by my house. We're going to do some recreative areas for people, the citizens of the city. Let's see. Where's good medium size? Sure. After all, this is the people's house. I don't know how that provides recreation and relaxation for the Sims, but sure. Sounds good. Hey, look, we're shooting off fireworks from my mayor's house. Did you know that that SimCity 4 has this in it? You can drive around your city? Get out of my way! I love that it had me go somewhere where there weren't even roads yet. Sure, I'll just drive my limousine over here. Do I really want to have a casino though? Maybe not. Will I build a casino? Probably not. Oh, this game. This game. It's, all things considered, it's aged pretty good. It's probably a lot nicer on my CPU and GPU as well. Uh, let's do some medium density. Farley audio? No, it's Daddy-O audio. Fashion 40, baby. Oh, this game. This game is just something special. Played it a lot when my kids were young. Let's get a high school in this town. That should get everyone covered. That doesn't quite cover everyone with the schools, but that's okay. Alright. For an impromptu have to pinch hit, it's doing pretty good, I think. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. We need to do... We don't need to do death care yet. I can make 300 a month with the casino. Do I really want a casino in my town right now? No, I don't. Yes, I'm making money. Doing good. And look at the mayor's house here. Number of uninvited guests, 108. I would love to have sliders like these in cities where we can control a little bit how much funding goes to the school a little more visibly, like just be able to like really see, you know. I would like that. I'd like that a lot. All right, we need to have a more dense commercial zone, so we will spare these people being right next to dense commercial. We will make this the dense commercial zone. Sims, look to the heavens, but call the mayor. This is one thing that's missing from CS2 that I really would like to see added, is churches. Churches are everywhere in Europe. Churches are everywhere in the US. Churches are everywhere in Asia. There are shrines of various sizes and denominations. Shinto, Buddhist, you name it. It would be really nice to have a religious or cultural act. That would be nice. Alright, let's build in this density here because I want to have it. And then I'm going to do something I don't usually do, and I'm going to actually put in a bigger garden space here, just to kind of try to offset what's going to be coming in next to it, which is all these businesses. There you go. So that's some nice, some nice garden space. Alright. Let's zone in. City Planner Plays talked about rezoning and not hesitating to rezone. And in SimCity here, I totally rezoned all the time. I'm having a hard time doing it as much in CS2 because when you zone, it automatically kicks everyone out and tears it down, and I don't like that. Like if you're upzoning something density-wise, it should be a gradual, in my opinion, a gradual refurbishment of stuff. Let's have you connect. Connect there. I didn't want that, but go right ahead. Also, this is an old game. It does not do autosaves, so I've got to do the saves. Alright. How's our farm space doing? Let's zoom it out. We've got good farms there. Let's finish off this area with farms, because farms and stinky industry don't play nice. So we'll hurry and do that. That way it's good. And then we can start putting in stinky industry over here. Let's do that. We'll pull you here, and we'll pull you up here. Sure, connect across. Probably do business here, and then I'll do some industry. Memory serves for industry, it's okay to do it a little bit bigger. They tend to fill in, so I'm going to do this. Okay, sure, do that. That's fine. That's weird, but you do you, boobly boo. Why, thank you for telling me that. They might catch the no funding flus. Sure, what neighbors? Can I take... I will take trash from Farmia. Sure, and they could pay me for it. Grave need and befuddlia. Ooh. Look at that. Apparently people really like living next to my house. We're gonna put the graveyard right across the street from the high school. Gotta warn those kids about old Gravy. Keep him in line. They will want a skate park. They will want a... Where's my basketball court? There's my basketball court. There you go. Catering to the high schoolers. High wealth residential. Let's look at our zoning real quick, because I thought I did medium. Alright, lady. Chillax. There you go. Clinic's funded. You may now calm down. Yeah, see? But me doing this zoning doesn't necessarily evict people, and I like that aspect of it. Now, if I wanted to go like super dense single family housing, I do that in this. I wish there were a way to do something similar in cities. Because in this game, you can do it like just these 1 square blocks and like pack it super dense. And see, this forces them into the single family 1 house per square with no yard. Kind of like some of the residential stuff that's gone in recently in my neck of the woods. I swear they've got houses like close enough you could pass toilet paper from one bathroom window to the other. They're that close. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh, what's our driving opportunity? Get little Binghamton to school? Sure, let's get little Binghamton to school. Where am I going? Alright, where is he going to school? It's down in this neighborhood, I guess. Now make a left. Driving up the road. See, this is kind of fun. I would love to be able to drive around in cities. Like, you can't really, but I would like it. It's a fun way to unlock the specialty items. Oh, I got strikers, huh? Who's striking? City water full of filth! Sims smolder forestation, huh? Okay, well let's go ahead. First we'll do this. Then we'll go ahead, we'll pull up our water stuff. Where's the water complaints? Sure, I'll park it right there on the other side. That way the water is in. Yes, okay. Thank you, you're so kind. I don't need 10 times the water. Yes, yeah, I know you don't like the traffic item either. Shush you. Hi, you're gonna do that for me? Okay, thanks. For some reason, our industry zone is not industry. That's weird. Oh, it's because there's nothing to connect power-wise. See, I'm used to the power auto-connecting in cities because of the roads. So I do appreciate that in cities, that we don't necessarily have to string utilities the way you kind of have to do here. That it's bundled in with building roads or whatever. I do like that. I do appreciate that. Alright, remember how I was talking about density? So once those develop in, then I come back and I just put those down, right? I would like to be able to have smaller, like 1 square, like suburban US super dense single family homes. I would like that. Because I don't feel like you can really do that. They have to be a 2x2 square in cities. Yes. Shush. Alright, the hospital's fetching. Alright, fetching about this. Let's fix that. So, 219 patient capacity, fine. We'll up you to 300 there. That's fine. Schools, we need to have some more student coverage. That's fine. We'll give you that. How are we over here? Student capacity 59. We can bump you up a little bit. Little Buford, Binford, whatever his name was. Bibbly Boobly private school. So let's put in a private school here in this area. And then we can make this a little more ritzy, hoitsy, toitsy, hoot flute kind of a neighborhood. So I'll put this in here. Alright, we'll run that road, Some of the auto road stuff I don't like, but I do like when you do big swaths of zoning, it just presumes you want your grid. And I kind of like that. It would be fun to see something like that where there's a grid in cities, but then also maybe one that lets you do the curvy roads with the roundabouts, whatever. So very European style, and maybe have like a bunch of different options that maybe come with different mod packs, right? That let you do that. I would like that. That would be interesting to me. All right, let's look at our power line since Mr. Complaining Man came and fetched about the power too. We haven't unlocked these. We have to wait to unlock those. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't that great? All right. I could do a natural gas plant. I could do a coal plant, which is dirty, dirty, dirty. Um, heavy, heaviest, moderate. I'm going to do oil, and I'm going to do it over here with all my other plants. Where are you? There we go. Because, you know, why not? Ooh, look. I can throw money at it. I don't know. This is kind of fun. Driving around stuff. Oh, it's bugged out. Didn't load the card in right. That's alright. Oh, there you are. See, you're there. I would like to see more of these kind of the architectural styles. I do like that. Like, there's the different styles. I would like to see more of like a New York 1940 style, Chicago 1890 style. Because like, I think of like Day Game and the historical play, right? Having Chicago's 1890, having 1940, having, you know, 1990 Europe contemporary, having all that, that would be useful for the storytelling aspect. Phil kind of does that a little bit with some of his builds, and so it would be useful to have that, or to have, even just to have a Chicago or an old or a Victorian or a Georgian or whatever period, because then you could build in neighborhoods that look more like that, and we kind of get that with like the Northeast pack and the Southwest pack a bit, but I'd love to have it even more and have that ability, especially for the folks that paint, kind of like Moose does, Canadian Moose, kind of like Clovis does with what he does. You know, where it's a more of a painting the city. I think that it would be better to have that sort of thing more readily available. All right, you've got enough people. You're fine. Quit complaining. This school is not fine, so let's take care of that. All right, we'll bump up your abilities here. And I think you, sir, are going to run out of room at the Stars Dream Clinic soon enough. But tell me your thoughts, folks that are watching. What changes would you like to see in Cities? What things do you like in this game? Have you ever played this game? Like I say, for me, I like that I don't have to worry about things looking quite as jank. There are janky moments, absolutely, especially when there's like big sincere grades. Like, yeah, then like you get like the 5-story basements. Not a fan. I wish that there was a little more conforming to the terrain that way. But, I mean, you look at these, the detailing on these is really good. And, you know, you get the gingerbread houses, you get the different wealth levels, and it looks good. right? I liked that there was a procedural generation of the hoity-toity mansions that didn't restrict it to a 2x3 or a 4x4. It could be oddball shapes, and the fences would form on the edges, and you could whack-a-mole a little bit to try to get the fences to come in. I did like that. I wish that there was more organic and fluid shapes, and that, yes, there's because the zoning, that's one thing that I wish it was a little more fluid. Like, if you've got low residential to some level, let the house property lines have a fence that pops up between them that we don't have to necessarily detail in. I would like that. Um, it lets you have, the oddball property lines that you see everywhere, because no property line is 100% straight. Nowhere. Not anywhere. And I think that would be a nice flavor of realism that I'd love to see them add. I don't think that they can, honestly, at this point. I don't know that you could even mod that in necessarily, but I think that would look really cool if there was a way to mod that in, honestly. Alright, we can add in some schools. Let's add in City College on the main road. We can adjust our student. Let's see, we'll call this gray noise high, because why not? Because I can. First person to chat gets to tell me what building they want to be named after. I'm happy to do it. Because for right now, this is just let's have some fun. We're just playing along, talking about things we like about this game, things that we'd like to see cities do better. The isometric view, that's I do like the ability that I can adjust my camera and my tilt and look at buildings dead on and not having to be like this, the 3/4 view. Interesting. So you'll work for that, but you won't work. So weird. The zoning in this can be so weird sometimes. But then at the same time, this doesn't recalculate every time I touch a road to it. That's one thing I wish that, like, once you zoned it, unless you, like, plowed through the zoning with a road or a path or whatever, I'd like it to just stick. Because that's one thing, like, I'll zone out my European row homes, and then I attach a road 2 blocks away, and suddenly half of them are condemned and get torn down because the zoning in Cities Skylines recalculated. That was one thing that just drives me around the bed. Oh, who's striking now? You're hearing that too. Strike, 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 strike. We got plenty of people there. How's our hospital? Alright, the hospital's getting a little overly dense. I'll give you that. I'm going to do this. Because we probably should anyway. Oh, what's your complaint about? Make a little easier connection that way. I could expand this and just plow everything down. I don't want to do that though. I think I'm going to actually make it be here and then down. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, do I have to go an extra block? Is that what's going to take for you to be cooperative? No, it's the crossover because there's just that one little nubbin of road. There you go. See? That's what that's one thing that gets me is like the nodes. When the nodes are just slightly off in cities and you can't figure out why. And you have to delete like 3 blocks away because it says, invalid shape or whatever. That gets under my skin. Oh, quit your complaining. Have some commercial zoning. Help yourself to a hand grenade. Oh, that's a good show. Alright, that's what this has gotta be. uh Jaja Corda Tower. Because I made the reference, I gotta keep it now, right? Alright. So I've expanded that road there, so that's kind of nice. Given some nice density there. SimCities 4, and all of them really, did force you into that grid. So I do like that about cities, where you can get away with not having a grid, but there is ways working around it. It's, I mean, like that, right? That allows us to kind of have a little bit of a cul-de-sac feel, right? Or even, you can make a full roundabout here, right? The trouble is you've got that middle part that's going to connect through, so that, granted, it's not perfect. But if we zone off of this road and do it the full depth size here that I want to do, right? So it gives you a little bit of that vibe, but it's not perfect. So that is a definite improvement in cities that I really do like. I do like that you can swap the different choices of the different roundabouts. I do like that. I don't like that it forces that. I wish there was a way like click and drag like you could do with the 5-lane roads or whatever else to change like road directions. I like that in cities. I wish you could do that in this game. So that's a definite evolution in cities, and I do appreciate that. Um, but it goes back to that my beef with the zoning. wish the zoning was better. I wish the zoning didn't recalculate itself every time you connect the road in somewhere. Um, that's one of my biggest gripes, and that is kind of what's driving me toward having Move It. And I was waiting for the because Cuboid had retired from developing it, and all valid reasons, of course. Um, but Yin Yang has taken up the form of Move It, so I have wanted to get Move It to experience it because it does seem useful, especially for the oddball gaps that you'll sometimes get when you're zoning stuff, right? I'd love to be able to move all the houses closer together and get a true uniform block like the German buildings. Again, it's that property line situation, right? Property lines, they're never, ever, 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 ever square. They're completely always deranged. It's just the way they are, right? Anyway, we could hammer that one for one. Alright, so let's do a little bit more surface area here. So I'm going to do 2 deep on either side of this, right? But I like to do these sometimes where I force it to have these specific lengths so that they don't spawn in, because they will spawn in and they'll take 4 or a 2x2, and I don't want a 2x2. I want it to be a nice. So I wish there was a way that you could stipulate that. I wish they had the 1x2 that wasn't necessarily even the European style houses. Because I do like the Euro style row houses, but I would love to have it be an American style, like these ones right here. They're kind of McMansion, but for areas where you're building an American style place, you want to have that, and I don't feel like we really have it. I feel like there's a lot more acreage around these houses in cities, and I wish that we had a little more variety on that. But I've been talking a bunch. I want to hear what you guys think. You're all here watching. Tell me what you think. What would you change? What would you like to see cities add that maybe is better represented here? I do like our ability to go in and design things and to rearrange things. I do love in cities too that you've got the ancillary building stuff that you can zone around and move around, and so sometimes you have to place a road so it has the right road access, or a path so it has the path access. But I love that. I love that you can have a sprawling complex within a certain range of the base building. I really like that. That's a very positive thing in my opinion that Cities 2 has done. I need another one over here. How are our zones? That's our fire hazards. We probably need one over here. I will put it over here, away from the neighborhood, sort of. Just a little better coverage. Alright. I'm gonna wait for your responses, and I'm gonna do a driving thing. We're gonna help the cats! Well, that just makes it difficult. How am I going to help the cats if I can't go the right direction? Let's see. How do I put on my siren? There you go. This is kind of a... This was a random thing that they added because I don't think they had it in any other iteration of the game before. I just really like this. I think it's... No, you're not supposed to do that, you silly goose. Get out of the way! I don't know, this is fun for me. It's silly, but it's kind of fun. There's more of them. Well, where are they? Oh, they're way over there, huh? Oh, goodness me. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be doing this one again. Oh, gosh. Yeah, my truck's not doing so hot. You can see it's got the sim plumb up that's not showing that it's doing so hot. Yep. Apparently that killed it. Oh, well. Oh, well. I would like to... I would like in cities for them to have a more usable first person mode so that you could like get down to eye level of your Sims walking around the city. I would like that. Or a car. I mean, because you can do the bumper cam almost, or the top down like trailing drone view. But I would like to almost have the behind the wheel view. Because like Clovis does his tram cam during the breaks, right? That would be fun to be able to see the city from that tram view and be able to kind of look around and see how the city looks from that ground level. It's an interesting change from the view from this top view we've got. All right, Union Corner, that's good. How are we for stars there? We're good. I'm betting we're gonna be almost chock full. No, we're doing okay there. How's the hospital? Hospital is not doing so good. So even maxing out the hospital, so we will need to do something medically over here. So let's zoom this puppy out and get a feel for the AoE on the hospital in this game. See, this is nice. I could, you know what? I could even. Ew, I can do that. So, first off, I do need to have this so that people can actually get across this road. That was. You probably noticed that when I was driving, quote unquote, the fire truck, is that there was no way across because there were no intersections. Let's give an intersection here, another one here. Intersections. Let's talk about intersections. I like that you can get the various sizes. I struggle with the highway on and off ramps. And I think it's just because it's not intuitive how much runway you need for the slope to be right, or how much clearance you have to do a flyover or an underpass. I feel like that could be better clarified. I was talking with, can't remember who, it was on someone's stream, where I noticed, for example, like the mining districts and such seemed to change at one point, where like, because I thought you'd have to put the poultry stuff, the livestock stuff, on the fertile ground, and the same with like stone. And I think there was an update that came out where it turned off the highlight on those areas to make it very clear that you could place them anywhere. Can't remember where I was going with this. Oh, you could do similarly though with like the highways, right? You could do make it a little more clear, more readily apparent how far you have to run a particular on-ramp back, right, for it to be able to adequately and accurately connect and give the right grade and the right ground clearance as well, right? That would be a nice quality of life upgrade. Because if you look at this, like, I could do ground level highway, but I'm going to do elevated. I wish that it would let you choose to have the different it's been a while since that's done that to me. So I have to reconnect all the power. Oh gosh, it just went out of my head. I hate this. I wish SimCity would let you choose if you had it be had it be like elevated, or had it have like the ground connect up to it. I wish that was standard in Cities, because I don't feel like it is. It was in Cities 1, if memory served, or maybe that was a mod. I'm probably wrong. It was probably a mod in Cities 1. Was it Move It in City 1s that allowed that? I can't recall. Let me know what you know, because I'm not remembering. See, I like that it does these, right? Because these are the quote-unquote right lanes. I like that. I wish I would love to see cities do something similar that lets you, if not automatically fill it in, but maybe choose one of the prefabs and have it be like oh, you're building this highway over this. Would you like it to be the trumpet? Would you like it to be the condensed trumpet? Would you like it to be the roundabout one? All, the different ones. Just have it like pop up and then like let you choose and have it baked in and the cost baked in. For the casual players, the ones that are playing it more as the simulator than as the painter. Because if you want to go through and you want to build your interchanges, go ahead. I struggle with that. I struggle with it. I don't feel like I have a good enough experiential grasp of the game to be able to really make it look nice. So I don't really like it. Building my own, that is. Okay. Let's do some high density here if it will let me and not bulk and do weirdness. It's gonna bulk and do weirdness. Leaves that opening, which, for good or for ill, I could come in and quote unquote detail it by putting in, because these don't really require road access, so it would be just a nice little nubbin back in there, right? We've got the different options, seaports, etc., etc. We can do airport. Oof, sorry. Sure, we'll plan it right there. I would love to see in cities more options as far as airport sizes, because I feel like we've just got 2, whereas in this game we've got the little airport, we've got the little small landing strip, the small municipal airport, small international. Like, around me, there's a disused old landing strip. I'd love to be able to have that in my cities. And then there's a more advanced one that's like a slightly glorified landing strip. And then there's a small airport, small municipal one, but it's the old one. And then they've built the international one further to the north and closer to the downtown. And so having the ability to have all the different sizes and have multiple sizes more than just international and small airport. I would like to have a little more variety that way in cities. There you go. Canadian Most Memorial Airport. Why is it Memorial? I don't know. This one can be... I'm just naming it for friends right now. We're talking Cities Skylines. Since I can't play because the mod was not working tonight. Gotta do something, right? Gotta have fun sometimes. Phil talks about a lot of different things as he's building. I feel like he's in more of a position to have the ear of people at Colossal Order to get the quality of life things, and that would be nice to have a way to give, just quality of life feedback, right? That would be really good. I'd really like to be able to do that. I feel like a lot of our stuff that we have in cities doesn't really have the built-in parking like it should. I feel like there's a lot of the stuff, especially the non northeast, non Euro builds, should have parking underneath. I mean, I think of like all the cities I've been in, they come with parking. They come with under the building parking in a lot of cases. And I feel like we should have more of that in cities. And that way we don't have to have the constant battle of having the streets completely stuffed with cars from one end to the other. While we're talking quality of life stuff, can I just tell you, I would love for the roads to stop randomly renaming themselves. That would be nice. I understand why, just maybe from a coding perspective, it had to do that, but I just, I lived in a place in California, and it had a road, and I've said this before. It had this road that started as like Palm Avenue, and then it went to 3rd Street, and then it went to Columbia Way, right? Perfectly straight road, no curves, just one side of the intersection was one street, the other side was another. And I'd like to, maybe have a way to say forced break name at a certain intersection. That would be nice to have. Too much. There's doing the density here. Well, I'm actually connected. Well, that one did too. Wasn't expected that. But I feel like I've kind of talked through a lot of the concept, but I'm eager to hear what other people's thoughts are, because maybe they've found workarounds to the struggles I've had, or maybe they've got other things that maybe bug them that don't bug me, and maybe they deserve being discussed as potential things to fix. I need to do the water because I am not playing cities. I have to zone the water in this thing. I am so silly. Let's get that water fixed. Roads? What roads? I didn't see any need to put under the roads. What are you talking about? We don't put pipes under roads. That's crazy talk. I don't think we have enough. Yeah, we don't. See if we look at this, it's our water. Yeah. Our water is exceeding capacity. So let's throw in. Alright, that should help with that. Let's get the pipes in. Because yours truly has forgotten that he's not playing cities and needs to put pipes in. I do like in cities that you don't have to worry about pipes bumping into like the subway, right? I do like that. I do like that you don't have to fret about that the least. In this game, if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to either. I have to build a subway. I'm not going to build a subway this. Another thing I would love to see is like a more region-specific US one. Like, I would love to see stuff that is reminiscent of like the South. Like, you know, Louisiana has the shotgun houses, as they're called in New Orleans. I would love to see all of the Victorian stuff like they have up in Seattle. I'd like to see that. I'd love to see an African one, honestly. One that's more reflective of African building styles. See them more represented. I'd love to see Central American stuff. There's some interesting stuff that goes on there. Hey, Gray! Yeah, you like the old school here, buddy? I added the tree mod and it didn't play nice with my cities, so I figured, what the hey, let's go old school and look at some things that I loved about this game. I loved the 1x1. I love being able to zone 1x1 super dense single family residential. I wish we could do that. I wish we could do that in Cities 2. Yes. Yes. I have never actually, you know, I don't think I've ever actually tried that with the density stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't have any hills in this map. I could make some. And do that. That would be fun. I'm gonna come over here and let's do that. Let's do some super dense apartment stuff over here. The 1 and 1x2 you were saying? Let's do that. Let's do this. So kind of like this. I think this is kind of where you're driving at. And the soundtrack here is absolutely a vibe. I will put on this and SimCity 3000 soundtrack just just to get through a workday sometimes, because it's the right jazz and the right, not lyrical enough so I can just like have it on, but it like gets my brain going enough. It scratches that itch. Yeah. I like the gradual build of this where they like, you can see it like start to build in too. One thing that I didn't like about the steep slope stuff in this is that it made it people have like these 7-story basements under their house. It looked completely unrealistic. So I would like to see it stuff tuck itself more into the slope. Like around here where I am, because I'm in the Rockies, um, people build up onto the hillside, and so houses often will have like a walkout basement on the downslopes side of their house. I'd like to see more of that. All right. I do. I like the upgrade. I like these ones here too, because yeah, they're kind of McMansiony, but I do like it. I like them better than these little white cottages. Then I also like these, right? These look nice, and I wish we had more of a Victorian style. So like the architecture styles. I was saying this earlier. I don't know if you caught that, Gray. But like the different architecture styles that they've got here, yeah. Like you can control it, right? Something like Zay would love to have the Chicago 1890 stuff for the stuff that he's been doing, right? Or the New York 1940 stuff, right? And the way Phil builds his cities, like he does real time progression, and I'm sure he would love to have this. I would love to have this sort of stuff more readily available in mod packs for us to be able to say this is an old town. I mean, we get there a little bit with northeastern stuff and the southwest stuff. It's not quite the same. It doesn't quite cover it. I would love to see more of that. Oh, how'd I kill my budget so bad? Oh no, I just spent a lot. Sure, let's do a city hall. We can throw city hall right here. 86 civil servant exam score. Not too bad. I love the farms. I wish that we had a little more variety with the farms in cities. That is one thing. I mean, yeah, you've got the different flavors, quote unquote, right? But they're pretty bland. So, you can only do so much with them. And the surface looks all the same. And sure, there are the outbuildings that pop in, and there's no real rhyme or reason to avoid a lot. But this right here, this, I love the irrigation stuff. I love the irrigation stuff because, like, sure, it doesn't move, but I would love to have the circular round one, because if they've got stuff animated in cities, right? You could have like the circular single point irrigation that you see all through the Midwest. Oh, that'd be beautiful. That would be a nice flavor add. I like with these that you can actually make a massive, massive farm as well, or you can sometimes make a teensy little itty bitty farm. No, actually, this isn't the first that I made in this region. This is one that I just had. Let me show you the region real quick. I've and I need to save anyway, so good call. Um, I've been trying to edit in stuff and you know, build and have rivers and stuff, but I'd love to do more. There's all the different other regions that you can do. I've got this one. I call this Farmia, but this is just like a farm city, and I love that you can do this sort of stuff in SimCity, where you can have just a small, teeny little farming town, right? Because it's just this little central area, right? But otherwise, it's all farm, and you don't have to progress it beyond any certain level, and I love that. You know, I could get go grab this one, right? And we could start a city in this one, right? So we zoom in, we've got all the different connections. We've got rail, so we can put that across real quick. I would love to be able to make connections and not have to be in dev mode. You know, just to build it and just to say connect it off the map to somewhere and just let the game calculate. I would love that, honestly. That would be beauty to me, right? We can do the freight station here. I would I understand why they make you do the rail yard in cities. I wish you didn't have to do it. I wish you could like outsource the costs. That would be nice. Because you know, you little place like this, it's not going to have a rail hub like that. It's just going to take use of the national rail. So assess them a fee, right? That would be nice, in my view. But you know, I don't know. Lots of wishes and hopes and things that would be nice. Cities 4? I am not actually sure. It probably, or SimCity 4, probably, maybe. It might be on GOG. Um, I'm actually playing this off my old discs. Truth be told. Like, I shelled out and bought myself a USB CD drive to be able to play this. Because I was having nostalgia, man, and I just needed to play. And so I shelled out like $40 and bought one. Alright. Let's look at this building. Look at that. I love watching that populated. That's just nice. Fill those puppies in, fill those in. And, we have a little city now. And it doesn't have to get bigger than this. This is good enough. Although we probably need a glug glug water tower. This is deluxe. I got it was yeah, I got the deluxe edition. And I think I went online and found the patches. Because I bought this way back in the day, right? So, just so much fun. Still 20 bucks on Steam, huh? Well, it's probably so that it can play with better with modern stuff. Like I had to kind of finagle this a little bit to get it to cooperate. I like the tools that you have in this. I would love to see if they ever get around to creating an editor. You know, because this game, man, I love this because you can come in and you can just be like, sit and like do some geological designs and like say, I want to do Hawaiian Islands. So you start a map with just water, and then you can sit and do volcanoes like this, right? And just be like, boom, right? Um, there's a German town that it it is completely in the impact crater of a meteor, and to be able to sit and play with it and like design something like this in a game like Cities and have like the geological history that plays into it, right? Or have salt domes, or like we see Moose do all the time with stuff that's like based on real life. I mean, there was the fires, right? And like change the colors of the sky and everything else. I'd love to have like stuff like that, or do some glaciation and just design it so that sure we've got these very clearly glaciated valleys, just to be able to make maps better. Because like I've wanted to make a map, like I'm dying to make a map of Jefferson City because I want to build something in an alternate history version of Jefferson City, Missouri. I can't because I can't figure out how to make the map editor work. And I wish it were easier to do something like that. I should talk to Wolf about that because I would love to see something like that. I'd also like to be able to do this sort of thing, just like zap people when I'm like cranky at someone in my city, and just go, pew! How dare you? I mean, I'd love to do like an Iceland map. That would be fun. You missed it earlier. Earlier, I was doing the drive around town stuff. That was fun. Doctor Vu being the evil bad guy that causes you to raise up zombies in the in the graveyard when you fly over him with the crop duster. In fact, I bet if I built one, it would ask me to do that. Freedom of expression. Get out of town. What's my alternative? Oh, car thief in progress, huh? So you have to get out of town before they catch you. They're all police cars. That's hilarious. Which, you know, this is a fun way to get a loan without getting a loan. I do like that. Ah, man. Oh well. What quality of life things would you like to see that maybe are in this that aren't in cities? I like, for example, that the parks don't have to have. Um, yes, the region would be nice. I like that parks don't have to necessarily have road access. That I really like. Having the region would be really, really nice. Because having the region, you'd be able to even situate where your cities are in relation to each other. I mean, like for example, city planners, CPP would eat that for breakfast because, I mean, all of his cities, like, you know, Nicolay Bay and Superior, all of them, right? Magnolia County, all of those are all intertwined and interconnected. One by one assets for sure. Good there, good there. We don't need that many dollars. I was saying about the airports. Yes. Well, and I've watched as you've built some of your stuff on your streams where you've got multiple cities in a way. And I've kind of emulated that a little bit in the series I've been running on the Red channel, where I've got little villages that I build and say, oh, quote unquote, they've joined the greater region, right? But technically, they're all actually just part of that city because they're all on that map. Yeah, I probably spent so many hours on this game. I love city builders. I have loved them for so long. I almost tonight I almost got out SimCity 3000. But that one I this one felt right to me, so I jumped on this one instead. Right. Having that real connection and just like looking at how like so many because so many of us do stuff like that. I mean, like, you know, Phil's not the only one. Zay, I think, has some of that going on. I do that. Um, I don't know. Does Clovis really do it? I don't feel like he really does because they're kind of their own unique, separate ones. But I feel like we see some of that when we've got 40 and Wolf that do their builds together, right? That would fit wonderfully into a region. Fashion. I mean, think about how we could do big group builds that way. Hey, Chaos! Glad to have you here with us. We're having some fun. We're talking about the things we liked about SimCity and the things that we'd like to see quality of life in cities. And Gray and I are both on page on this, but I'd love your input. Gray and I were saying how we like the one by one stuff, like all these houses here, for example, right? All these houses are one by one assets. That is a great way to put it, Gray. CSV is all about potential, and there's just a ton of depth that we're really not even seeing yet. I would love to have shotgun houses like they have in Mullins. I would love to have trailer parks, because trailer parks are a thing. I would love to have streetcars that are like real streetcars. I know this music is such a vibe. Right? Same. Chaos and young adulthood. Love it. I need to extend my pipes. I should probably put water out to the power plants, huh? That's what I was saying. I was saying, like, I would love to have different size airports. I would love to have it so that we can have like a landing strip. Because, you know, here in SimCity, you got the small landing strip that's like that big. You got the regular municipal. Then you've got the international, right? But in cities, you've got one that's this big, and then you've got international, and there's not these little landing strips. And little dinky landing strips are everywhere. Yes. Because I could see, like, I could see some amazing stuff from you, from CPP, from so many. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking of all the stuff that I've watched Gray smushed together in the upscale techie area that you were building. You could have a field day with the modular airport. And as long as you zone out the area. Because didn't in Cities 1, couldn't you zone out an area for an airport and it would level it for you? But you could put in whatever as long as it was in the zone airport area, right? I'm remembering right? It's been a while. I like the wind aspect of this. In cities, you know, being able to track where the pollution will go and plan accordingly. And say, you know, oh, yeah, we're going to have a slum downwind. Like, being able to do that, I like that because it adds to the storytelling ability. Because, you know, like I was saying, some of us like to play this as a simulator. Some of us like to play this as a painter, and some like to tell stories with it. I'm thinking like Angry Tom's Cities Skylines 1 series. If you've never watched it, that stuff is comedy gold. Recommend it highly. But he tells stories with it. Like, he makes this whole area that he calls Poo Lagoon that is full of toxic waste. And the people who live there are the mutants. Because the poop is just dumped into this lake that they all live by. Right? I love the ability for storytelling. I mean, Phil has brought it in on his own with his stuff. Nicolay Bay and all the stuff that he does, but he has to really work at it. Whereas some of this stuff just lends itself to those storytelling. I hope you are having the best vacation, by the way. I know how much you're doing to put videos and everything else out, so 1000%. I hope you're having a grand old time on your vacay. I love this song. Oh, in Canada, eh? Well, I hope it's a lot of fun. It's supposed to be cooling off around here by us. So I know. Hopefully, it's not too cool, but hopefully, it's nice temperatures. Good, good. I wish that you could expand and join cemeteries in SimCity. That would have been a cool thing. Um, I do like the area, the ranges you build in. It's in good old school, um, just vanilla City Skylines II. I do like that you can do a road and have an auxiliary building off on its own road. I do like that very much. I did those steps, didn't I? Let's zone correctly then, shall we? Look at these buildings. Just... Oh. Give me all the things! I like these brownstones. I wish... Ooh, I wish we had brownstones. I wish we had, like, real New York style, Pennsylvania style brownstones to build with. That would be nice. And the Victorian stuff would totally lend itself to, like, you know, building a San Francisco inspired build, for example. And like I was saying before, you know, I like that I can rezone this and it doesn't automatically condemn everything. And just gradually, when the property values hit just right, they can then grow up and age up. I like that about this game a lot. I wish that it didn't have the auto evict that seemed to happen. Yeah, this game kind of forces it, and there is that, you know, that I do like about that is that, you know, we can make it look very, very blocky. I like Gray and I were saying, we like these one by one units because where I live, it's it it was originally very master planned, and so houses are on like a tenth of an acre. So teensy, like close enough you can almost touch your siding on your house with your neighbor's house on the other hand. Like, they're really close together. And I would like to be able to better emulate that without having to move it in life. Alright, it's complaining about police coverage, so we gotta handle the sim stuff a little bit here. Throw in a fire department. That'll cover that, and this will cover that. How's our budget doing? Oh yeah, we're doing fine. I do find that, like, doing as city planner suggests and, like, not facing the buildings onto the main roads but on a side road works out pretty well, actually, even in this game. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's just the game mechanics of you know, the the various utilities just accessing the street grid somehow. I don't know. Just to me, it just seems like it works out better almost this way. Alright, let's look at our hospital coverage. Use some coverage over that, please. How is our school coverage, though? That's the private school, that's the other school. Probably use some there, maybe, but I'm gonna dodge it for a minute. That's our high school. I thought that was the high school. High school? Yeah, it's a high school. And that's the high school coverage area, so this isn't covered by high school. I can put in museums, though. That would be a good one to have. But like I said, I'm curious. What are folks' quality of life improvements that maybe you'd like to see in cities that SimCity had, vice versa? What are things that kind of failed in SimCity that Cities has addressed? I talked earlier about how, you know, I can fake in a roundabout here, but it's not great, and it looks kind of clunky. So I do like the ability to just drop in a roundabout or a cul-de-sac at the end of a node. Which particular ones do you like the best of the road tools? Because I was saying earlier, I wish it was a little more clear than how much of a rise or run you would need for, like, building the overpasses or underpasses. Because I feel like I never quite get it right, and so they come out just looking jank, and I just don't like them. Whereas this one, it has them, they're predisposed. One thing I think could be really cool, because this SimCity, you put the highway over a road, and it says, hey, do you want to add an overpass? And it will automatically add those in for you. I really like that. It would be a nice quality of life thing if cities would let you do a similar thing with the highway and say, hey, do you want this elevated or do you want the road elevated? I think it would be cool if it did that. I think it would also be cool if it did like a, hey, you're crossing this road, would you like to have compact interchange put in here? And then like pop open the interchange thing and just rebuild it. And sure, assess the cost of demo and rebuild, but just do it so that it's right in place. I would like that quality of life, especially for folks who are playing it more simulator and less painter, less detailer. I feel like that would be a useful thing. But also, I think for setting up a city, just like, say you're putting in the bones of your city and you just want to have stuff in, that could be really nice to have as you're starting out. And then you can come back and adjust. I think it was Gray that I watched having to like do all sorts of rework of the one-ways and everything else. And that's perfect, because you go back, you rejigger as traffic goes through. I do like, and that's one thing I miss about cities when I've been playing SimCity tonight. I like the fact that if you've got the 5-lane asymmetric, you can click and drag it to get the asymmetric on the side you want it to be on. I do really like that. I like that you can control the one-way that way as well. Try to break these up, see if we can do that. I like the ability to lock the buildings to make them historical so that they don't change. I like that that's just base game. I would love to have something like that because, if you have the historical district and to be able to do that, of course I'd love to be able to just group select and do that sort of thing. Or you know what, they could make it a district thing, and once you zone in the district, click that it's historical, and then make it so that it takes removing that or adjusting the boundaries to make it so that you could delete them. Like in Verde Beach for CPP and CS1. He had the whole old town that was locked in. I would love to have that control. Because there are areas that are old town. Like there was one of the cities I lived in growing up had this it was this weird it was like a T, or it was like this gerrymandered kind of thing. But there were a bunch of old Victorian, Georgian era style mansions. And they were all the historical district. I would love to be able to mark that sort of stuff off more easily, more readily in CS2. Thanks for the positive reinforcement. I will walk tall because you told me to. I don't know if you heard me saying earlier, Cass, but we have in SimCity, you can control the building style, right? You've got Chicago 1890, Houston 1990, right? You can have them all occurring at once. You can restrict it down to just the one. And I'm thinking of people like, CPP. I'm thinking of Z-Game. I'm thinking of a lot of y'all who are the detailers who might want to restrict it without having to rip out mod packs or add mod packs. I would like to have it a little more free and be able to say this area of town is only this, and like lock it so that you're not having to constantly click and select in and out of the menu. You know what I mean? Quality of life. I would like to have more variety as well in mod packs. I think that would be really good. Another thing, and I cannot say this enough, I love, and I've always loved, that here in SimCity, you've got, you've got the different schools, right? But then also you've got cemeteries that are disconnected from churches, but you've also got specific churches. And it's not just the UK church. I like having the UK church. I'm glad we have the UK church. But UK churches are very UK specific, But then you've got, in France, you've got all the different basilicas. In Germany, you've got the same type of thing. In the US, you've got evangelical type looking churches, you've got the Catholic churches, you've got the pre 1950s Catholic churches and the post 1950s Catholic churches that are very art nouveau and even art like modern style that look like they look like a museum sometimes, right? I'd love to have more religious places or cultural places and frame it that way and have it be like opera houses and theaters and Shinto or Buddhist or Hindi or Muslim or whatever different places of worship, right? Oh, interesting. That's one thing that I wish we could do as well with our setups in Skylines, is to be able to convert things into like subway accesses. I would love that because in France, I know there are buildings in Paris that look like apartment buildings that fit with the zinc roofed houseman style buildings. And really, they're power substations, or they are vents for the Metropolitan, right? They accommodate that sort of thing. And there's I was watching a thing on the Red channel where the guy was talking about how there's this building there was a power substation in Chicago that was built a long while ago, and then this architect got hired to build the Hard Rock Cafe next door, and so he tried to tie that Hard Rock Cafe to that substation, but that substation was going to get torn down, so he submitted and tried to get a part of designing, and he did actually end up designing the renewed substation building so that he could still have it tied to the Hard Rock Cafe that he'd also designed. Right? So I'd love to be able to just convert stuff like that and have those substations and I'd love to have underground high power lines, which I don't think we do. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just haven't been able to see that we have those. Do we have those in cities? I don't think we do. But I'd love to be able to have that sort of a connection and have the high power stuff more readily connected and have these buildings that you could just like the, oh gosh, what are they? The commercial, the little boxes that if you have Move It, you can like shove them in a building and turn that building into a mortuary or whatever, right? I'd like something like that base game. That would be really nice, in my opinion. They should. They should. I would love to see them add the block surfaces, especially where there's that such a big need, and it's so hard to fit in like all the mortuary services for death carriage, or other things, because it is not an infrequent or uncommon thing to have various things co-located, right? Um, there is, for example, there's that temple for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in New York that it's got the big spire and the angel Moroni on it and everything. But that building is partially offices for the church, for local missionary efforts. Part of it is like a regular Sunday church, and part of it is special temple, right? And I know that they're not the only kind of people to do that sort of thing. So to be able to have even more mixed use and be able to do that with block services. I mean, could you imagine being able to say, do a complete, like what New York's doing right now, and be able to say, hey, this big office block here, this big office block isn't working as office block. We're going to rejigger it, and it's going to become residential, or part residential, part commercial, right? And they just have to retool the building. And so you can do that by taking in and putting back different of these block services. That would be really cool. Oops. I think recolor mods should be standard. That would be really cool. Because if you were more on the detailer painter side of things, you could then go ahead and say the HOA for this neighborhood, for example, wants only these colors for their houses. And that way you can just paint them that color, right? Or this is the thing that I struggle with, and why I'm grateful that Yin Yang has picked up the fork on Move It now that Cuboid's had to step away. But the whole issue of having to sit and click 14 times to get the right color of shed, because I built a vineyard, and to have the sheds all the right color, I had to plop 18 different sheds and then nuke a bunch of them. So for me, having recolor standard would be really nice. It'd be a real quality of life for the vanilla base game just to have that. I could see a big draw for people having that ability. Yes. Yeah, say yeah, district palette, or even have it even maybe even detail it down to business is this color palette, residence is this color palette, industry this color palette, or mixed use these color palettes, and be able to have the buildings show up in those flavors. That would be really nice. Gray and I were talking about the agricultural zone stuff here and how it zones in, and they are pretty unique, right? They're very um, individualized in a lot of ways. I mean, there's the repetition, but also the buildings make more sense to me. Like like these right here. I love these because we see them all the time. Where um, the pivot irrigation, so like the circular irrigation, I would love to see that in, like, say you zone it in, say you zone in a grain or vegetables in the specialized industry. Have have it sometimes pop in as the central point irrigation stuff, like you see all over the Midwest of the U.S., or even in the more arid places of the world, like you see it in the Middle East as well. Tree farms, have the tree farm not be just the random jumble, but have it be like linear lines of trees. That would be really cool to see that. And maybe even have a little toggle to say random, linear, and be able to have it just grow in once you zone the specialized industry. Have it be able to be something you choose, or have it be randomized and let it just kind of do whatever, right? I'd love to have fruit farms and have like cherry trees. I mean, look at these right here. They're not really that different. These are orange trees, right? But if we go and find apple trees, do I have any apples in this one? I think I do. Is this one it? Yeah, apples. The sprite has been colored red instead of orange, right? I would love to see fruit farms in cities. That would be a really cool ad for me. I would love to have vineyards. I would love to have the vegetable farms. You could have it a choice and have it be corn or soy or rice. Because let's face it, we've got a whole bunch of these specialized maps that are out there that are very Japan focused. We've had the Japanese pack that got released. I think it would be really awesome to be able to have rice. I think it would be cool as maybe part of the K's and Keys and Piers or whatever they're calling the update now. I think it'd be really cool if they add the fish industry to have also like kelp farming, right? Honestly, I would buy the Orchard Fruit Farm DLC for that, just because I think it would look really cool, and to be able to have that, I, I would just really. That's just that's my flavor of play. I'd also love to see, and I wish they had done this in the European DLCs that they did, um, the mod packs. I would love to see modular castles. Like, there are so many castles of varying states of repair or disrepair across Poland and Germany and France and Spain and Italy, and just to be able to like have just like even a castle DLC. That would be awesome. To be able to just have the DLC and be able to have it be similarly like where we've got the central building and the auxiliaries, and to be able to build that all in and build it around, I think that would be really cool. Let's put in the university. Why not? Uh, I wish I had the emoji that was Fry saying, "Shut up and take my money," because that's exactly how it feels, right? It's just like, "Shut up and take my money." That would be perfect. Um, we're gonna put you right here on this road. Sure, why not? We suddenly now have a university here. Does it fit the city? No. This city is completely just slammed together. This is not really rhymed or reasoned. It's just is. But I'm having fun talking about this. I would love to have more buildings for the university. I would like to have like and you could even make it like the special buildings. You too, you too. Thanks for jumping in, Cass. You're gonna have fun. Niagara's beautiful, especially from the Canadian side. You can actually see more of it than you can on the American side. So you're gonna have a grand time tomorrow. Oh, but at the universities, I would love to see like, have it be like if you have a certain amount of the petrol specialized industry, you could have like the College of Physical Sciences. I'd love to see like if you have a certain amount of farm space, you could have the agriculture college. If you have a certain amount of office, you could have business college, and like have all these buildings that flow with the vibe of the university you built, right? And then you just place it in the use area. That would look really cool. I would really like that. And where universities here in the states have the college sports teams that are so often deeply connected and attached, um, have it tied somehow to that way too, you know, where you've got to. Oh my goodness, would you just stop giving me all the things I'm trying to put? What you giving me already? Uh, those of you who are here, if you don't follow Chaos One, follow him. He does great stuff. He does here on the Red Channel. Same goes for Gray as well. Great, great streamers. Love their content. I'm pretty sure you will too. If you hung out with me for this time, you'll love their stuff too. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this. I would love to see that. I'd love to see different universities. I'd love to see colleges. I'd love to see. Oh, I'm just trying to think of all the different things you could do. Having a farmer's market like this one that just popped up, right? And being able to just have it be an unlockable, right? And just to have that as something that you could plop into your city. Farmer's market. It would be really cool to have. And it would entice people to actually do the specialized industry instead of just kind of forgetting it, right? Because I'll admit it, if I hadn't watched City Planner, I probably wouldn't have done much of it. But because of City Planner, I have done it, and it does actually seem to help my cities function better. Just there's a lot of ways that they could build off existing and make it even more value add. That's my take. But I would love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You know, feel free to like hit me up wherever you see me. Because I tend to follow people all over here on Twitch. I'm all over the Red channel. We've got our channel, the Gray Squad, and I have a Red channel only series called Renard that I'm wrapping up. A city based in the Plains regions. So those rotary irrigation stuff would actually fit great there. But there's that whole series that you could go watch if you wanted to. Love to have you come watch that. Love to have your comments and input. I love to get other people's perspectives because, you know, sometimes I kind of get locked in. And as you saw tonight, just talking with Chaos and Ray, there's a lot of stuff that you come up with that you realize, oh, hey, here's a new idea. Here's something I hadn't thought of. That could be really cool. The synergy. I love the synergy. I love the community here. So thank you all for being here and being a part of this community, because Twitch has somehow found the secret sauce by helping us find the people who enjoy what we enjoy. And we all tend to be pretty nice people to hang out with. And I'm constantly grateful for the good people that I've gotten to know. And I don't just say that. I genuinely enjoy hanging out with everyone that I follow. Just good folks. Good folks. They're just, you know, they're fun. They give me good thought processes and good, you know, reflection throughout my day. It's nice. And I'm constantly glad for the people that I've gotten to know. We're going to do big zones here because we want these to be the hoity-toity hoot-flute type of houses. I'm going to take out that stub road there. Well, yeah, you complain about everything. Because I spent money. I know that's your job in the game, is to save. Whoa! But it's okay, lady. Relax. It's gonna be okay, lady. It's okay. Now I'm having a flash on Pedro Pascal talking California. You haven't watched that Saturday Night Live skit. It was pretty good. Genuinely, it was pretty good. We need to name something for Chaos. Not that he'll come back and watch the VOD, but if he does, we want him to have his own place here. So let's find some nice building. There you go. Chirpy's Casino. Can't necessarily add Chirpy's logos to it, but for you, my friend, consider this Chirpy's Casino. Chirpy's HQ. This has just been fun. Thanks for being here and chatting with me and discussing this. I've really enjoyed revisiting cities, predecessors. Maybe I'll, if I have trouble with it next week, I might whip out SimCity 3K, because that was also fun. I saw that CPP played SimCity 2013. That thing was a train wreck, man. Oh, that one was a train wreck. I do like that this ties in with the original Sims, and that you could actually import your Sims into this city and have them live in this city. I like that. I would love to see some other tie-in type stuff. They could do Colossal Order could totally do something where it's like a tie-in between surviving Mars and SimCity, City Skylines. That would be wicked. I don't know. Do you think it'd be cool? I think it'd be wicked. And I'm not even from the Northeast. Be Wizza. See, we're too close to the farms is the problem with that. I couldn't put them there. But I would love to see this with Cities Skylines. I'll say it again. I love that I can just take a plant and plop in a park right there, and it doesn't have to be connected to the roads. I also like that they've got all these, these big, beautiful, uh, like if I wanted to put in a castle, I could put in a Malian quarry, right? I could put that in. It'd be beautiful. It has absolutely no connection to my city, but I could build one around it. I could build the Rotes Rathaus, right? Because if I wanted to build something more German, I could throw the Alamo in. I could throw in Palacio Real, right? Smith Tower, right? In my downtown, I could make a nice big, solid downtown and have this big skyscraper right smack dab in the middle of it. I love that's there. I love that we have that. And they kind of are doing that with the special buildings, but you only unlock them at certain points. That's hard for me, because like if you wanted to build a city around it, how do you build your city around it if you were just having to hope you hit the right benchmarks? Let's see what that does as that rebuilds real quick. I've rezoned it. Let's see if those zone up. Yeah, they're doing it. Look at that. See this one right here. That's got to be the Houston design. Look at that. Oh, look at this big monster. Bunker Towers. Just lots of fun. Well, friends, I hope you've had fun with me tonight, reminiscing and talking about good things. I think it's time for me to end my stream, though. I'm going to put in our raid message in the chat. Here you go. Brace yourself. Brosco's rating. And vote now if you have someone in mind that you want to raid. Otherwise, I am going to take us over to Gray because I know Gray's just starting up. I'll give you a handful of seconds here. About 60 seconds. Throw your votes out. If you have someone specific you want to raid, otherwise we're going to go raid Gray. Hand you off to him because he's going to be building some beautiful stuff there in Cities, where I could not be in Cities today. No takers, no takers? Okay. Thanks for being here. It's been great to have you. Look forward to having you next week. Next week we'll make sure that I get Cities going. But in the meantime, let's get you over to Gray's. Remember the raid message, and remember I stream this every Monday, 8 to 11 Eastern, and Minecraft on Tuesdays. Same time, 8 to 11 Eastern.